So raise your hand if you've ever struggled with maintaining water quality in your fish tank. Now, imagine a plant that could solve that problem while also creating a beautiful underwater landscape. That's Vallisneria for you. But there's more to this plant than meets the eye. Ready to uncover its secrets? I've been keeping fish for years, and I've always been on the lookout for that perfect plant. Something easy to grow, great for water quality, and looks amazing. Well, guys, I think I found it in Vallisneria. But here's the thing. It's not just about cleaning your water. There's a whole world of benefits hiding in those long, flowing leaves. And I mean, we're talking about a plant that could change your entire tank ecosystem. So let's dive in and explore what makes Vallisneria so special. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be wondering how you ever managed without it. You know how some plants are finicky, demanding perfect conditions? Well, Vallisneria didn't get that memo. This plant is like the superhero of the aquarium world, adaptable, tough, and always ready to save the day. But here's the kicker. Its real power lies in something you'd never expect. Let's talk about why Vallisneria is such a superstar in the aquarium world. First off, this plant is incredibly hardy. I mean, you could practically throw it in your tank and walk away, and it would still thrive. It's perfect for beginners who are just getting their feet wet in the aquarium hobby. But even seasoned aquarists love it for its resilience. Now, here's where we get things really interesting. Vallisneria doesn't just sit there looking pretty. It's a propagation powerhouse. This plant sends out runners every 3 to 4 days. Can you believe that? In just a few months, you could have a lush, green underwater forest. It's like getting a whole bunch of plants for the price of one. Vallisneria isn't picky about its living conditions. It can handle a wide range of water parameters, from soft water to hard water, and even slightly brackish conditions. This adaptability is a game changer, especially if you're dealing with tap water that's not exactly perfect. I remember when I first added Vallisneria to one of my tanks. It was a 50-gallon setup that was, well, let's just say it had seen better days. The water was cloudy, the fish looked stressed, and I was at my wit's end. I decided to give Vallisneria a shot, mostly out of desperation. Guys, the transformation was unreal. Within a few weeks, the water cleared up, the fish were more active, and the tank just looked alive. It was like Vallisneria had waved a magic wand over my aquarium. And the best part, I barely had to do anything. The plant just did its thing, growing and thriving with minimal input from me. But here's the real kicker. Vallisneria isn't just great for one specific type of setup. Whether you've got a low-tech tank with basic lighting or a high-tech setup with all the bells and whistles, this plant can adapt. It's like the chameleon of the aquarium plant world, able to change its growth patterns to suit whatever environment it finds itself in. Now let's talk about Vallisneria's secret superpower. What if I told you this chameleon-like plant isn't just adapting to its environment, but actively improving it? There's a hidden talent lurking beneath those swaying green leaves that could solve one of the biggest headaches for your aquarium owners. You know that constant battle with nitrates in your tank? Well, Vallisneria might just be your new best friend. This plant is like living water filter, sucking up nitrates and using them as fuel for growth. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. All that fish waste that usually causes problems, Vallisneria turns it into a beautiful, lush greenery. But here's the thing, Vallisneria isn't just randomly floating around sucking up nutrients wherever it can. No, this plant has a strategy. It actually prefers gravel substrates. Why? Because that's where all the good stuff settles. Fish waste sinks into the gravel, and Vallisneria's roots are right there ready to gobble it up. It's like having a built-in cleaning crew for your substrate. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds too good to be true. There's got to be a catch, right? Well, you're not entirely wrong. Vallisneria isn't completely maintenance free. It does need some TLC to really thrive and do its job effectively. First off, let's talk about lighting. Vallisneria isn't super picky, but it does appreciate good light. Moderate to high lighting will keep it happy and growing strong. As for nutrients, well, that's where things get interesting. Remember how I said it loves to suck up nitrates? That's great for your water quality, but it means Vallisneria is a bit of a heady feeder. You might need to supplement with some root tabs or even liquid fertilizers, especially in a newer tank where nutrient levels might be lower. One thing you'll definitely need to keep an eye on is trimming. Vallisneria can grow like crazy, and if you let it go wild, you might end up with a tangled mess. But here's a pro tip. When you trim Vallisneria, you might notice some yellowing at first. Don't panic. This is totally normal. The plant is just redirecting its energy to new growth. Give it a little time, and you'll see fresh, green leaves popping up in no time. You know, I remember when I first started using Vallisneria in my tanks, I was skeptical, and at first, how could one plant make such a big difference? But after a few weeks, I noticed my nitrate levels dropping, my water stayed clear for longer, and the best part, my fish seemed happier and more active. It was like the whole ecosystem of my tank had leveled up. You know, I've been talking a lot about how Vallisneria keeps your tank clean and your fish happy, but there's more to this plant than meets the eye. What if I told you Vallisneria could turn your aquarium into a thriving fish nursery? Yeah, you heard that right. This plant isn't just about water quality. It's got a hidden talent that might make you rethink your entire tank setup. Here's the deal. Vallisneria's long, flowing leaves aren't just pretty to look at. They create these amazing little spaces in your tank. It's like a secret underwater forest where fish and shrimp can feel safe and protected. And you know what happens when aquatic creatures feel safe? Yeah, you got it. They start thinking about making babies. I remember when I first noticed this in my own tank, I had a school of platies that never seemed interested in breeding. But a few weeks after adding some Vallisneria, I started seeing these tiny little fry darting between the leaves. It was like magic. The dense Vallisneria growth had given them the perfect place to give birth to fry and raise their young. And it's not just about providing cover. The structure of Vallisneria creates these cool shaded areas in your tank. For a lot of fish species, this is exactly what they're looking for when it's time to spawn. It mimics their natural breeding grounds, make them feel right at home. But here's where it gets really interesting. Remember how I mentioned that Vallisneria sends out runners? Well, as those runners grow into new plants, they create even more breeding grounds. It's like your tank is constantly expanding its nursery space. Before you know it, you've got a whole ecosystem going on in there. Now, I'm not saying Vallisneria is going to turn you into a master fish breeder overnight, but it definitely stacks the odds in your favor. It's providing shelter, security, and the right conditions for your fish to feel comfortable enough to breed. And let's be honest, there's nothing quite like seeing a bunch of baby fish or shrimp in your tank. It's a sign that you're doing something right. I've seen this happen in all sorts of community tanks, whether it's live barriers, whether it's guppies and platies, or egg scatterers like tetras and rasboras. Vallisneria seems to encourage breeding across the board. And don't even get me started on shrimp. Those little guys absolutely love hiding out in Vallisneria. And before you know it, you've got a whole colony going. So when you're thinking about adding Vallisneria to your tank, don't just consider its water cleaning abilities. Think about the whole ecosystem you're creating. You're not just improving the water quality, you're providing a safe haven for your fish, encouraging natural behaviors, and potentially kickstarting a whole new generation of aquatic life. All right, let's recap what we've learned about Vallisneria. It's a water quality superhero, easy to care for, and even supports fish breeding. Pretty impressive, right? But here's the thing, don't just take my word for it. Try it out in your own tank and see what happens. You might be surprised by how it adapts and transforms your aquarium. Remember though, Vallisneria is just one tool in your aquarium toolkit. It's not a magic fix-all, but it's definitely a powerful ally in creating a healthy, thriving tank ecosystem. So what unexpected benefits might you discover when you add Vallisneria to your tank? I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comment section below. If you're ready to take your aquarium journey to the next level, check out my next video. I'll be sharing some advanced tips for creating a balanced ecosystem, and I will see you there.